Alright, we are halfway through our Singapore trip and we are visiting another cafe. This is a very special cafe for my wife because this cafe is not only near her old house where she grew up in, but also because
PSL was birthed out of this cafe.
yeah, she birthed her clothing brand. Her clothing brand was birthed in this a little cafe. So PSL is short for Paradigm Shift Label, and this is my wife Audris, and she's the owner and founder of Paradigm Shift Label, and it's a modern, modest, minimalist fashion brand for female clothing, sometimes for guys as well. But yeah, this is some of her latest designs that she recently launched, so feel free to check it out.
They used to only own half and they expanded.
Oh yeah? What's that? Can you share with me how did that moment happen when PSL became an idea?
Oh, okay. So I was sitting at that seat.
You sitting here?
Sit beside the little girl.
Yeah.
This chick.
Okay.
I came here with my journal because I was feeling very lost in life.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I was just stoning and just people watching. So I felt the Holy Spirit say, look up at the menu. So when I looked up at the menu, here in Purpley it's very interesting.
Yeah.
The menu is still there.
Yeah.
Here in Purpley at that time, the menu didn't have like Americano or latte or whatever.
Yeah.
It was just white or black. And then the word black just flowed out of the menu to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what's this supernatural thing that's happening to me? And so when the word black came alive at me, immediately I had a picture of a very simple black dress with pockets and folded sleeves and a slit. So I quickly sketched it down on my notebook, my very amateur drawing,
Yeah.
which is still amateur till this day. And then I just decided to name that dress the Long Black.
Yeah.
And then a whole collection, which is only 3 pieces of clothing, but based on the concept of coffee. So I named the other 2 Flat White and the Iced Latte. But that's the birth of the first dress of Paradigm Shift Label, the Long Black.
And the brand was born.
Here at this seat, I would come here and just do my research, do my searching of suppliers, learn about fashion right here at this seat.
Yeah. And now the doctor is here making a lot of noise. And making friends, right? Isn't making friends today, huh? Yeah.
So learn how to use utensils.
Yeah, I get it. Oh. Alright, yeah. The backdrop is nice, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, they still give me the B-rolls of.
Yeah, watching Audris's first Kickstarter video. He's good at it.
Yeah, he's a professional.
Because it feels like you're back in your days of
The early
early days. Yeah. Early days.
Actually, the lady there is, I should remember.
You remember the people there?
One.
Yeah. Alright, so now we are at the post office, and this is something that when we were in our dating phase, my wife would come here to do her deliveries and all that before she had a fulfillment. A fulfillment company business partner. Right, but now we are back to the old days.
The old days.
Yes. So what happens when you come here?
Actually, I would just pre-purchase No, I'll pre-pack all the items, then I'll come here to get the tracking number and send all the goods.
Yeah.
And they'll come in there. To a point that I befriended the people at the counter.
Yeah.
But right now, there's only 1 out of 3 of them that I
Recognize. But the fact that you can recognize people here is crazy.
Yeah, they even gave me a whole stack of like the documents so that I can pre-fill it at home before I come.
Yeah.
Very nice. When they see my packaging at that time, they'll be like, hey, and they'll start a conversation. They're very nice people, and I always write the feedback for them.
Yeah. And so this is the post office, and turns out they have a whole convenience store beside it now. Last time it used to be empty, right? Yeah. You feel like old times?
Yeah, but I just feel like it upgraded a little bit. Like
It did.
Place.
Yeah. It feels newer. Yeah. Alright, so turns out the one of the ladies in the post office, remember Audrey's? I mean, yeah lah, she pretended to know me lah. No, I was kidding. But yeah, how do you feel that?
It's nice to see familiar faces.
Yeah.
And yeah lah, just send regards and send my best wishes.
Yeah.
And I think she also probably feel like she's valued lah, like a customer remember her, cause she said, 谢谢你记得我.
Yeah lor. That's right. That's the thing, you know, like Audrey's has been running this fashion label for about 6 years now.
7, I think.
7 years. 6 years.
Yeah.
And like part of her startup journey of running the business was going to post office regularly to send out all those parcels, all the clothes. She handpacked it and everything, you know.
And I genuinely am very thankful for the whole team. Because sometimes like they close at 6 PM, right?
Yeah.
I come in at 5:50 with like a lot of parcels that they have to process, which obviously meant that they're gonna OT lah. But I would tell them, I say, sorry I'm late, like can process or not, if not I come back tomorrow. They say, for you can. That's like, oh thank you. So like I used to buy them drinks when I come in also. Because the Liang Cha shop is just a few doors down. Yeah, and like sometimes they are so busy, like the guy just said on Saturdays they don't get lunch break.
Man, wow, how fun is this? Like this is
small business thing.
This is really like small business life. To interact, to know people in the post office is next level. That's how regular you were over there. So yeah, now that she's a mother and she has a husband. I think the lady, what's her name again?
Miss Chong.
She probably was a bit shocked also.
I think so.
But wow, sweet memories for you.
Nostalgic.
Will you go back to that life again?
It was a good season. It was a good run. Let's move on from there. Yeah.
Hi, MB.
MB, this time we want to do.
What's going on?
Right now, the stocks has been sent to my parents' place, like the good old days, because the warehouse is closed, and we also need to sort out the stocks to the pop-up and for the online inventory. So we are separating the two. And these are our Chinese New Year clothes.
Oh.
And it's a good time also to do some quality checks.
Yeah, QC time.
Yes.
Check it out. All the boxes. Woohoo.
Emmy, are you gonna help? Emmy, help us. No, it's okay.
Alright, so now we are in Audrey's home. And we're gonna start doing a little bit of packing. A little bit of, I don't know, QC. And it feels like the old times when we were dating and she was like, you know, packing, and then I came to help as well on some days.
Actually, he's more efficient than me. I'm very not organized.
I enjoy doing this kind of stuff.
So I just need to give him the instructions and
Yeah.
get it done for
Yeah.
me. Thank you.
Once again, this lady is my boss for today.
Please lah.
Please lah. Alright, time to do some packing. Alright, time lapse. Good morning. Good morning. Alright, it is our last day. Last day in Singapore before we fly off tomorrow. Technically tomorrow is the last day, but today is our last full day. Yes, and Amber is getting really cranky, but we are at a special place today.
Industrial area. Going to a studio.
Because just like any small business, like JoshTZM business, somehow we are reliving that in Singapore today over the past few days. And today we're actually going to do a little shoot, just like the old times, just me and Audris, but now with the baby. Shooting the products that she sells. Yes, that's my sunglasses. And yeah, how do you feel?
Honestly, I'm just gonna see how it goes because I don't know how it will go with Amber around.
Yeah.
Well, we'll take it one step at a time.
So
we
this
brought
the
the goods.
Yeah.
We got the space.
Yeah, it's all behind. All the clothes, all the goods, you know, all the new designs. And we're gonna see how shoot is gonna be like with Amber around. Yeah. Let's go.
She's like, she want me to wear your sunnies.
Ah.
MV loves sunnies.
Yes, but she doesn't like to wear it.
Yeah.
She likes other people to wear it and she likes to put it on people. Yeah, but she doesn't like to wear it. Anyway. Camera recording.
Hi. Being interviewed by my husband was vlog.
I know. Okay,
Vlog,
so right,
vlog.
the thing is, while editing this episode, right, of following you all around, like your work environment, it's like it felt like it was like a insight into your time as a startup, and also during our dating phase where you were doing all of these fulfillment and your business, running your business and all that. And so when I was editing it, I realized that I did not have an ending for this vlog. And so this is literally like 1.5 months after after this vlog, whatever you just watched earlier on. This 1.5 months later, and I'm editing it right now, and I realized there wasn't like a proper end to the vlog. So I actually wanted to sit my wife down to have a little conversation about her business. To me, I find that very exciting. When I heard about your business, when you told me about it, I never heard about your business before, but this was the first time I heard it, and when we first met, and I was very curious about it. And so I have a few questions that I wanted to ask my wife. So I have like 4 questions that I want to interview my wife and also test this interview setup. You know, let me know what you think about this interview setup. You know, this 2-cam setup, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yeah, but I'm gonna ask questions that maybe you might not see anywhere else online. Yeah, I think these are questions that are a bit more deeper into your journey of being an entrepreneur.
I'm gonna try and pretend the cameras are not here and I'm just talking to my husband.
It's just a conversation. So we had this conversation like last night, just a little bit. We didn't go in depth into it, but I just bounced the idea of Audris and I said, I want to have a conversation with you to kind of end off the vlog properly, right? About, you know, what it means to be a Christian entrepreneur or an entrepreneur for Christ in this season of your life. And so, yeah, if you want to know the startup story about Paradigm Shift label, about her, you just Google it lah. Just Google it. Yeah, but and that's her startup journey, right? And I think maybe some of our friends who are watching this might know the startup journey, but then it's been how many years already? It's been almost 7 years. Yeah, this is your 7th year, I think.
No, 6.
This is your 6th year.
I passed the 6th year.
No, you passed your 6th year. This is your 7th year now, running your business, right? And I've seen 4 years of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've seen 4 years of it.
4 stagnant years.
No, it wasn't stagnant, but there were a lot of times of seasonal changes here and there. So I wanted to ask a few questions.
Okay.
So the first question I have for you is, how do you deal with the imposter syndrome starting a business with no business knowledge or fashion background? When PSL started, like, how do you deal with that imposter syndrome that you had? Because I know when I was running my business, my media business, I had a very big imposter syndrome, because I know I had no experience in running businesses, let alone being a fresh graduate out of uni who was failing but had a portfolio.
But you got A what?
For my first year, but then the second year I failed because I stopped going to school. Yeah, but that's another story. But I knew that I struggled with my imposter syndrome, and so I was a bit like standoffish lah. But how do you deal with that imposter syndrome, or if you ever had?
Oh, of course I had.
Yeah.
How do I deal?
Yeah.
I think first off, I was fortunate enough to land a job in fashion prior to PSL for 1 year. But I think that was already when I felt the Lord spoke to me to start a fashion label. But I'm like, I have nothing. Where do I even begin?
Yeah.
So there was an open door, and I managed to be in the industry for just 1 year, for another small brand, which gave me the opportunity to learn like every part of running a fashion business, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah.
And shortly after, I felt led to step out to start PSL. So of course I struggled with imposter syndrome because I have no background.
Yeah.
Besides that, so what I did like practically was to do a short course in NAFA in fashion design. It's like a 5-6 month course, so kind of know how to sketch, but I don't feel like I'm a pro or anything lah. It's just like, okay, I went through some education of some sorts, but of course still have all the imposter syndrome until today lah. But I think that is a journey that helps me to recognize that what I'm able to do today is not based on what I know or what I have studied, and I really have to rely on God. And when I go before Him like, I can't do this, I can't do that, I think actually that is the point, to have my identity found in Him, not who I think I am or what I think I can do.
And I think that leads to my second question, and my second question is that, people who have had a business, right, that God kind of give us a download, and we start it out, and it's really like, in our weakness His strength shines, right? We bring glory to Him, not by our qualifications, but how He has qualified the call for us to fulfill. And so you run this business, and there are a lot of doing. There are a lot of things, very practical things that you need to do. I mean, in this vlog already we see just a small taste about your everyday life, right? Of running the business, meeting the people, talking to the people.
People I envy.
No lah, like whoever you are interacting with, right? Like what, Madam Chong? Was it Miss Chong? Yeah, like Miss Chong. All of these conversations that you have, you are running your business in a way in which there's a lot of doing that's involved. And over time, now 7 years, how do you separate the being and the doing? Because the being is, you are a child of God, and God has given you this creative insight on what He wants you to do. How do you separate that identity and the doing? Or does it come together? Or is it supposed to move together? Or what's the struggle that you had? Yeah, I mean, like, there's so many like questions in terms of that
Okay, I'm just sharing from
Yeah.
my own experience
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how I navigate lah, okay?
Yes, yes.
So when I first started out PSL, I was very scared that it would be a big part of me. And because the identity thing
Yeah.
was so core to who I am, right? Like
Yeah.
I was very scared that if I do something or I take something on,
Yeah.
that new thing would become a part of
Your
me that I
identity.
identify with or
That's right.
as lah.
Yeah.
So when I think maybe like 2 years into running PSL, people would start saying like, hey, yeah, Audrey's running Paradigm Shift label.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's what I do. But I always had a bit of like a, oof, don't associate me with the brand because I'm more than just
Yeah.
the girl who runs PSL.
Yeah.
But I think also because I was very overprotective of making sure that the identity don't mix.
Yes,
like, I'm not just Audrey's who runs PSL.
Yeah. So
like,
at the start, you were very clear about
I
that.
was very clear. Maybe a bit too clear within myself that when people say, oh, you should be more personable, like you should be in front of the camera more, like to connect with the customers and everything, I'll be like, no, it shouldn't always be me. I just want the brand to be the brand lah. But now I'm learning to embrace it, that it all comes together. So it really, really, really hit when I became a mom lah. My husband will obviously know, but many people don't know. Like, it felt like everything was just stripped off me when I became a mom because that became my sole identity almost. I'm a mom to Amber, and it requires all my time, it requires everything of me. Like I didn't even really have time to do PSL. In my short time of being a mom of 15 months, there were so many times I wanted to give up. We've had multiple conversations of like,
so many.
Maybe the season is up,
many
maybe I'm just meant to move on from PSL and to focus on being a mom lah, because that's my priority now. Now, right, actually in my life, my doing is more of being a mom than running PSL lah. So even with this, is quite dangerous to find my identity in like, oh, I'm a mother. Because I've actually just had this conversation with him that I'm starting to become very comfortable being a mother and hiding behind just this statement. Oh, I'm a mother, therefore I da 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 da. So I feel like whether it's running a business, whether it's being a mom or doing anything, we must be careful to not allow our identity be found in what we do lah.
That's right. And we had that conversation yesterday also, where one thing that I personally couldn't really wrap my head around was that when God gives us an idea and we create that, and that idea starts to take its form, and people start to be curious about the idea, and the idea starts to grow into a business or it grows into a movement, and all of that stuff is good, and it starts to bear fruits. Like people are interested to know about God through all that, right? And then you start to think that that thing becomes the message. And you think that you are creating a message with the Lord, and sometimes it is, but then yesterday I feel like we had that realization that is just a casing of an overflow of your being. So it's the casing, or it's the fruit that comes out of you, and that is not the message. Actually, you are the message, and out of you, God can create anything He wants to do. When you're surrendered lah.
In fact, I think God don't even need me to do PSL. He can do whatever He wants to do, just like that. But any expression that He allows us to find, to glorify Him at the end of the day, is because He is inviting us into a partnership lah. So
the expression
at that point
comes out as PSL.
So it's like, what is His heart for me now, and what is His dream for me now? I feel it's to learn to be a wife to you. It's to learn to be a mother to Amber. So personal life wise, these are my priorities. And PSL is something that has been handed to me, and I'm learning how to steward it even till 7 years. And if God wants to take it away and say, oh, the season is up, then I'll gladly just give it up lah, and focus on what He wants me to do now, because I think ultimately is what is His dream for me.
So talking about all of that, right, I have that ultimate hypothetical question that I think almost every business person, right, will ask themselves as they walk with the Lord, right? Or even when it comes to your own dreams and visions that God has given you to fulfill. And the golden question is, if you had all the resources in the world and you had no restrictions, what would you want to do for the rest of your life?
That's actually the question I asked myself when PSL birthed. Because when I was 14 years old and there was a question that was asked to me, what is your dream? When I was praying and seeking the Lord on what I should be doing, I felt like I heard nothing. So I'm like, okay lah God, if you're not telling me anything, no choice. I have to ask myself really. I have to deep dive within me and go through this whole self-discovery. What do I really want to do? So that was literally the question I asked myself, and I was brought back to this memory at 14 years old where I answered the question, what is your dream? And I wrote 3 points. Number 1, to design my own products. Number 2, to have my own business. Number 3, to use the money to help the less fortunate. And I think my answer today is still the same. So I guess I have found my answer to that golden question, and
still do
after
the same
7 years, it still is what I want to do. In fact, after how many years? Since I was 14 lah, I guess this is what I want to do. But because I think it's a pretty big statement, like 3 of these, I still can like explore what they are lah. So for example, I want to use the money to help the less fortunate. Like that line alone, like it could look like many things. It could look like giving to causes that I believe in. It could look like actually starting a whole other thing. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's still what I want
like
to
the
do.
casing, the vehicle can be very different, but the heart and the engine behind it is still who you are, like who God made you to be, and the empowerment of His Spirit lah, in that sense. Okay. I don't want to take this. I don't want it to be too long. Okay, I don't want this vlog to be too long. So this is the last question. Okay, and the last question is, so PSL or Paradigm Shift Label has been a business that empowers women, clothing them in strength and dignity. That's how it started, right? Now, what do you say PSL is heading towards to in terms of your design, your products, your message?
I think 7 years is quite a long time.
Actually I didn't realize it's 7 years.
And many things happened within these 7 years. A big one being meeting you, getting married, becoming a mom. And so I think with all of these that's happening, my personal style also changed. But I think the core of what Paradigm Shift is, that 3 words still it remains the same lah. Modern, modest and minimalistic designs. That is what you can expect to see from PSL. But at this current stage I'm in my life as a mother, you do not have time for anything else. So really like laundry is the last thing on my mind. I just want to go to the cupboard and pick up whatever that's at the top. Sometimes my clothes aren't even folded, okay? So when I say the top, it's like the top of the clean laundry pile. So like I hope to design products that you close your eyes and pick also can wear. Like fast free, you don't even need to think of what it is, you just pick and wear. So you know you can go about your day focusing on like what really matters, because half the battle is won when you feel confident in what you wear and how you look. I see it also in your current designs. And so if you all want to go and see the products, just go to www.paradigmshiftlabel.com.
I'll put it in the description somewhere. But this is just a very casual conversation. Maybe it feels a bit serious because like there's cameras and it's like a bit of interviewee style with the mics and everything, but really it's just a very casual conversation that we have generally as a couple when the baby goes to sleep. So this is something that I wanted to talk, record and put it into this vlog where I don't even know what's the name of this vlog yet, but I think it's probably following the PSL journey.
We didn't even know we were gonna like do an episode.
It was unexpected.
Like
it's just somehow that 2 days there was so much last minute PSL things that we needed to settle before we flew back to Perth. Every time we're in Singapore, it's like there's a lot of different little things to do, and PSL happened to be one of it lah. So I guess we just kind of packed everything in that few days, and an episode came out of it. And running a clothing business, I never knew the ins and outs of it but I realized that there are so many possible hiccups that can happen, so many variables that can change everything. Yeah, so really
I always say
respect.
when it comes to production, anything can go wrong will go wrong. But no. Respect our makers. Respect our sewers. That's what ethical fashion is all about. I know somehow when there's camera, I feel a little bit professional.
Yeah, just a little bit lah. But anyway,
talking to my husband.
So we'll end it here. Like, wow, it's been a long one. But thank you for watching today's episode. This one was a long one, but I think it was a fun one because we get to reminisce a little bit about my wife's little business, little clothing brand. And so if you like what you see, you like what you hear, go and check out her website.
New shoes.
Her clothing is all in the description. I think I'll leave it in the description. But we'll see you at the next vlog. Peace.